Good morning, all of you. Am I audible? Hello. Good morning. Am I audible? आपको तो audible. Okay, thank you. Yes, good morning, all of you again. And in the last lecture, I think we have completed up to this node, right? Up to the node, intrusion detection system. We'll start with unit 3, and I think we already discussed some of the points from the unit 3. Yes, the introduction of the unit 3. Still, from the first slide. Okay. So, first of all, web application security. First of all, what is the difference between the web application and website? Yes, I won't answer from your side. What is the difference between web application and the website? Website on the web server and web application. Yes, website means any of the interconnected pages, right, which are accessible by the web browsers, known as the website. And yes, web browsers are the softwares or the desktop applications or the mobile applications which are accessible by the internet, or as well as some of the applications we can use via the web browsers as well. Right, so this is the main difference between the websites and the web applications. All our mobile applications are under the web applications, and all the websites which are accessible by the browsers are websites. Right. Next thing, why it is required web application security. Why we have to study this thing. Right, because so many attacks are possible on the website as well as web applications. All of the websites and web applications are totally based on the server side scripting as well as the content management system. Right, we already know this thing. WordPress is the best example. Screen is not visible. visible. Based on the database, right? Done. So, point, websites are based on the content management, based on the database. Attackers will find out the loopholes, the backdoors in the coding, in the GUI of the website, GUI of the our web applications, or in the database. Next thing is the SaaS, software as a service. It is the part of the cloud computing. If you are using the AWS, then it is known as the software as a service. And so attackers will always in searching of this type of the vulnerabilities. So what is the main aim of the security testers? Right, we have to find out loopholes. We have to find out the bugs inside the all the websites. First one is the data entry bug. If we have a contact us in our website or in the application, right, then any hacker can use this space, any fool, or can perform the SQL injection attack, cross-site scripting attack, right? Because the data inside this form is directly going to the database, and using this type of the queries, we can exactly dissect the database also, right? So second point, web security testing aims to find security vulnerabilities in web applications and their configuration. The primary target is to find out the bugs inside the application layer. Right now, all of you are familiar with all the layers of the network, right? OSI layer as well as TCP/IP chat. So the main aim is find out the bugs inside the application layer. Uh, what is the application layer? Right. All the applications or all these activities will be performed at the application layer. That's why we have to find out the bugs from the application layer. And the protocol inside the application layer is HTTP and the HTTPS. So we have to find out the bugs on the HTTP, HTTPS, and we have to secure these bugs first. Using we can do this using the encryption protocols. Right? Either we have to use secure socket layer SSL or transport layer security TLS, and it is known as the HTTPS. Right. So this is how we can do the security in the HTTP. Second thing, as a tester, we have to send some of the negative values as well, right? I know this thing very well that my developers are not interested or not applied application properly, right? Maybe you have the experience with HTML forms as well. If I am developing the HTML form, at that time I will clearly mention the data type. If I am selecting the email address, then it is clearly mentioned that type is equal to email. If password, then I have to write down that type is equal to password. If developer is not writing down this properly, then all yes. Uh, what is the difference between authentication and authorization? Authentication means use of the particular credentials, or we are allowing the particular user to our system. Right. Authorization means access to the particular resource. Right. The best example is our internet. Right now, if all of us are connected to the institute's Wi-Fi, then I have the different access, you have the different access, right? Maybe some of the sites is not available for you guys, but some of the sites are maybe for me only or for the faculties only, right? So this one is the authorization. So in the website or web security testing, we have to also test all these things. If I am a tester, then I will connect via all of the accounts. If my system has admin accounts, user accounts, and other different accounts, then I have to connect from all these accounts and I have to check each and every functionalities which are accessible by all the users. Yes, sir. Right. Okay. So it is equally important to test that other features are implemented in a secure way also. What type of the other features? Business logic. If we are implementing some of the accounting softwares, then we have to properly implement the GST, state GST, central GST, all these things. It is the duty of the tester to find out all these things and the bugs related to logic as well. Right, division by zero. This one is not possible. Then I have to try this thing in my application. Next, proper input validation as well as the output encoding. Right, some of the devices are not able to show our output in the other languages. Like if I will try to show the data in the Gujarati, then maybe all the devices are not compatible with the Gujarati. So I have to test all these things as well. Right, if I will give the output in the Arabic, then maybe all of you are not able to read this thing. Right, so as a tester I have to also test all these things. It means the main aim or the goal of this job as a security tester, I have to check from A to Z in the web application. Right, each and every part of the application I have to test, from the URL to submit form, all the things. Next, these are the attacks which are possible. These are the attacks which are possible on the web applications, and we will learn all these attacks. I will show you how to perform these attacks in our lab as well. Right, so first one is the SQL injection attack. It is the structured query language, right, SQL, and already all of you are aware with this thing in the DBMS subject. Right, this one is the totally DBMS is totally based on the SQL programming. So structured query language is a standard language which is useful to manipulate the database. And if an attacker we try to fetch some of the data from the database, then he or she will perform the SQL injection. Actually, the attack type is the injection type of attack. This one is in the injection. We have so many attacks. First one is the SQL. Second one is the cross-site scripting. Third one is the code execution. Fourth one is the remote command execution. And these are all the types of the injection attacks. Simply, injection means to inject forcefully something in the system. Right. Maybe, yes, some of the queries or some of the syntax. Right. Second one is the cross-site scripting. In the cross-site scripting, okay, cross-site scripting attack. Just I have to write down in URL in the Google and contact us. It will give us the forms, the website, list of the website which has this type of the pages, contact us page. Right. So let's go to the first website. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the cross-site scripting attack, we have to first of all find out the pages uh, which are taking the input from the user side. Right. So just you have to write down in the Google that in URL and contact us. Right. So it will show you all the web pages which has the contact us functionality. Now just here it is. Right. This is the contact us page. Now if these websites validations are not proper, right, and if someone will write down here the queries like this script, it is basically the JavaScript, right? If you have the knowledge of JavaScript, and this is just JavaScript, and I want pop-up box, right? So I will write down here alert, and inside the alert I will write down the message. Maybe it's not visible. Okay, so this is how you can perform cross-site scripting on any of the page. But if the validation is proper, then it will not consider this input. Right? It will not consider this input if the validation is proper. So just write down anything here in the Gmail's format or in the mails format. Write down the mobile number. Let's copy this thing and will be for the message as well as here is the mobile. Sorry? Yes, we can write down this in the HTML code also. But cross-site scripting, that's why I use the JavaScript. You can use any of the scripting language actually, right? But due to the HTML and due to the browser's compatibility, I am using here the JavaScript. Sorry? No, you have to find out. You have to find out the vulnerable websites. Yes, we will learn about the DVWA. DVWA is a software, or we can say it is a tool for the security persons. You can check your skills and your knowledge on the DVWA, but you are not able to attack any of the website or servers using the DVWA tool. We will use this tool and we will learn this in our lab session. And so don't worry about the DVWA. Sorry? Yes, so many tools are available for this thing, but you can use DVWA. It is a good tool, and also in our syllabus. So we will use this. Metasploit is also there, right? So if I will try to insert this code, right? If I will try to insert this code, let's check what happens. And submit. Right. So here, look at this. Only the loader is here. It means it is not accepting these things. Right. Means the developer secured this website against the this type of the attacks. Right. Developer secured this website against this type of the attack. How they secured? Right. We are in the class of the cyber security, and we must have to study the security as well, not only the attacks. So how they secured this thing? Using the only validation, right? in the code of this field, if I will write down that these are not acceptable, right? Special characters are not acceptable here. Brackets are not acceptable here. Then easily I can implement the security as a developer. Just I have to write down here, right? Uh, just go to the inspect, and if this field, right, look at this. Here it is, the validation. All the commands related to the validations are here implemented by the developer. Input text, validate number, validate length. All these things are mentioned here. It means it is properly validated website. So you are not able to directly exploit this website using just simple command. What we have to do, we have to use any other commands or some of the advanced command. If they are not allowing us to enter the brackets or the special characters, then instead of the bracket, I can also use double quotes here. Right, instead of the brackets I can use double quotes here also. So this is just for our knowledge how anyone can perform the cross site scripting. If we are successfully perform this attack, then what is the effect of this attack? Right, here I write down the alert. It means it will generate the pop-up box, right? But at the end of the admin panel, because this data contact us form will be saved inside the database, right? So it will not reflect on your side or in the user side, but the attack will be reflected on the admin's panel or in the database only, right? So whenever the admin will open the page, admin page, then they have one pop-up there, hack or whatever we will write here, right? It will be reflected there in the pop-up as a hack. Or, and yes, if I will put this script inside the for loop and I will rotate this for loop up to infinite time, up to the infinite time, then admin will not able to do anything in the admin page. It will give pop-up, click OK, again pop-up, click OK, again pop-up. So it will repeat unlimited times. So how to prevent this type of the attack? Or after targeted the system as a security person, how I will remove this script? Just I have to go to the database. Inside the database I have to delete this particular entry, right? This one is the one entry inside the database. So I have to find out the script in the database and I have to remove the script from the database. This is how we can perform the cross-site scripting attack. We will learn this thing on the live system as well, just here for the your knowledge that what is the cross-site scripting. Next one is the remote command execution, right? I want to execute some of the commands in your system. Then what I have to do? First simplest method, either take the remote connection of your device, right? But this is not the hacking, it is the functionality given by the operating system. Just I will write down your IP address, your password, and then I can connect your system. But as a hacker, I don't have to use this thing. So what I will do, I will either create one backdoor inside your system, or I will submit some of the specific file format. We already know that in some of the websites, if I am uploading the photos, some resume or anything, any file, that the specific format is mentioned there, right? You have to only submit the PDF, the JPG, PNG. Right? Now, what I will do, I will perform steganography. It means I will hide my command prompt inside some other format. If I have to upload JPG, then simply I will hide my command prompt inside the JPG file and upload that particular file. Now, after uploading this thing, I have the access of the remote device. Just I have to create one communication channel using the Metasploit and the meter functionalities. Right. Don't worry about this Metasploit and meter. We will learn this thing also in details. Right. So this one is the remote command execution. Using this attack, I can perform anything on your system. Also, using simplest command, just I will write down shutdown dash t and the time 5 seconds, and within 5 seconds your system will be off. Okay, so this one is the remote command execution, and in the movies, right? This one is the common thing. They always show us this thing, but just it is for entertainment purpose. Next one is the path traversal. As the name suggests, in this attack, we have to follow the path, or we have to find out the devices which are between me and the target. Right? If I am the hacker and your system is the target for me, then I have to find out how many other devices are between me and you, and how many other firewalls as well as other security mechanisms are installed between me and you. So this one is the path traversal. Next, DOS and DDoS. Already we have discussed this thing so many times using ping, hping, and the ROIC tool. Right. So no need of this again discussion. And next one is the buffer overflow. It means sending so much data to the buffer and exceeding the limit of the buffer. If the limit of the buffer is 2 MB and I am sending the 2 GB data, at that time the system will crash down totally. Right. Sometimes in our system also we have the memory dump issue. Right. One blue screen is there and the memory dump or physical memory dump. Look like this. So this is the example of the buffer overflow. Right. So these are the attacks which are possible on the web application attacks, and many more others are also there. But in our syllabus, these are the attacks. Next, what is the result of this attack? Right. What are the side effects of these attacks? First one is access to restricted content. Easiest one. Why we are performing the attack? Right. To accessing the secure content. Second, compromised user account. I can easily get your user ID and the password. Third one is installation of malicious code, and so many of you have already this type of the code in your system. Shortcut virus, right? The new one is the if you will open the command prompt, then your system will restart each and every time. If you try to open the command prompt, and your system will restart. Right. So these are the installation of the malicious code. How I can install malicious code in your system? Using the email, using the links, yes, using the files. If you are downloading something from the untrusted websites, then maybe you are the victim of this malicious code installation. Next one is the lost sales revenue. As the name suggests, right? If I am the owner of the e-commerce website and some attacks are on me, then I can lose my all the revenue. Recently, this attack was done on the Paytm as well, right? Because they are using the UPI in the background, right? So some of the attackers or the some of the persons from different companies, what they done, just each and every second, only 1 rupees transferred from Paytm to their account. Only 1 rupees each and every second. And so many attackers are there, not only single person, right? So this is the lost sales revenue. Next, loss of trust with customers, right? If my data is not secure on some of the websites, then I will not visit that website. I will not enter any of the my payment details, right? And this was one example here in the Sony, right? We already know about the Sony, not the entertainment channel, is right, the manufacturer of the devices, Japanese company. One mistake is done by the Sony. They are storing all the information in the plain text in the server. Right. So if no, yes, actually the attacker attacked the website and theft the all the details. After this, the attackers just sell this detail on the black market, dark web, and all the details are sold out by the attackers within the 15 minutes only. Email ID, password, credit card details, all the credit card numbers, and what is the payment done by them. Right. If a payment is done by me of 50,000, it means my credit card has the minimum limit of 50,000. Right. It means the minimum limit is 50,000 in my account. So using these details, anyone can do the carding also. Right. Maybe you know about the carding. So next one is the damaged brand reputation. It is common thing, a damaged brand reputation, and much more attacks are also possible using this type of the activities. So these are the results of attack, and here is the tool. Now onwards, we will learn so many tools as discussed in the last lecture also. In the lecture session now, maybe all of you are not able to use your laptops, but in the labs we will perform so many tools as well as, and most of them are on the Kali Linux only. Right, all the tools are not available for the Windows because Windows is not open source operating system, so Windows will not give all of the permissions. Right. So that's why we have to use open source operating systems, and the Kali is specially designed for this type of the activities. So this one is the first tool, Nikto. It is the scanner, web server or website scanner. Nikto. It will give us all the details related to the particular website. If I will write down google.com, then it will give me all the details related to the Google's, all the domains, all the subdomains, the location, and many more things related to the that particular URL. Right. Yes, it is pre-installed inside the Kali. Right. So if you have the Kali, then you can try this tool. Nikto is an open source web server scanner which performs comprehensive test against web servers for multiple items. Also, it will find out more than 6,700 potential files or programs which will affect your server. Here in our lectures or PPT, all the discussion is mostly about the security only, right? But as already I mentioned this thing previously, you can use this tool as a hacking tool as well. Can you explain? Yes, you can perform some of the uh, attacks using the Nikto. You can find out so many loopholes and vulnerabilities using these all tools. So, but I will show you only the security portion. You have to use this tool as you want. Okay. So inside the Nikto, we have the more than 6,700 potential files and the threats which will affect our securities. Next, it also checks for the outdated versions and outdated security mechanisms as well. Right? If I have the antivirus and I am not updating it regularly, then the latest virus or the ransomware can harm my system. Right. So this will also find out so many things. Just if you have the Nikto, then you have to write down this thing in the command nikto-h and the URL of the our targeted system. Right. You can take the screenshot or offline. You can write down this in the book. Also, it will identify the servers, the softwares, the tools which are installed inside the server. Next thing, if we are targeting the CMS system, or we can say that if we are targeting the WordPress, then extra add-ons and extra things which are installed by the user is also detected by the Nikto. Right. It will detect the extra plugins as well as, sorry. Yes, I will show you this thing. So in the first up to this, any questions? Yes. From here. Okay. Fold, four rotate, four accessing data. Milan, please explain your question. Visible? Yes. Okay, Milan. It is a open port, and you can use this port for your own purpose. Right. This one is not a reserved port for any of the server or any of the application. You can use this port for your own purpose. Okay. And yes, for other ports, just uh, Google it because we have so many ports, and I don't remember all the applications and the services. So for the ports, please ask to Google, and in your computer network, also maybe in your book, some of the common ports are there. Right, in the application layer unit, all the ports are there. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let me check the Nikto in the Kali. Right. So here it is, and as all of you know that after writing down the command, just write down the H, and all the details will be given by the Kali Linux. Right. So these are the options you can use with the Nikto. It is totally command based tool. Right. Maybe in the Windows or any other system it is available or not. I don't know about this thing, but this is totally based on the terminal, and you have to write down this thing. Right. I just targeted the Google, and it will check all the links, all the subdomains, and all the pages which are inside the Google. So it will take some time, but this is how you can use the Nikto, and these are the other options given by the Nikto as well. Right. If you want to find out the details related to the database, then just write down this version, and it will give us all the details for the database and the plugins which are installed inside the server. Why this tool is useful? Right. After finding out the exact version, you can find out the particular bugs, because each and every version has different bugs. We already know that in the Android we have the updates, right? In every week or in the every 15 days we have some of the security patch as well, right? So each and every version has some of the bugs, and that's why we need the version of the particular our target. And so this is the Nikto, and today we will stop here. I think 10:35, right? Okay, EC1. EC2.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. I have doubt regarding a topic.
yes, please.
Yes, sir. You said earlier that anyone can hide and command prompt under an image or under an
Yes, yes.
file. Then, sir, how can we know that someone is using port and someone is using my IP address in my system?
Uh, Actually, you have to use the firewall for this purpose. if you want to find out that some unknown persons are using your IP addresses, right? Inside the local area network, two devices are not able to communicate with single IP address. So don't worry about the local area network. But if you have the static IP address, at that time you have to worry about this thing. And in that case, if someone is using your IP address, then maybe you have one pop-up on your display that IP conflict. Right, it will show you that IP conflict. If someone is right now accessing your IP address, then it will be given by the operating system to you. Right. And one more thing, if I want to hide the file, then the simple command here, just let me show you how to hide any of the file or how to perform. Go to the command prompt. Okay, go to the command prompt and write down copy dash d one file, right? Let's say 1.jpg plus second file. Let's take 1.txt. Okay, we have to hide two files. Then just write down the copy slash b first file plus second file, and we have to mention the output as well. If I want the output in the jpg, then I will write down 2.jpg, and it will, after pressing the enter, it will create one new file. But right now in the directory of this C users Vivek, we don't have this file 1.jpg and 1.txt, so we are not able to perform this command. But this is the simplest command. Using this command you can perform the steganography. Okay, you can
Yes, sir.
hide. Yes.
So my question is that if I visit a website like Omega, right, and they can surely track my IP address, and then how can I find that I visited that website and someone is using my IP address?
You are not able to find out this thing because someone is just spying on you from the different locations, right? If you have the trust on the Omegle, then only please visit the Omegle, right? Because I think it is already discussed in the previous session as well. Don't use this type of the websites if you don't have the trust, because without the uh, allocation of the camera, they can use your recording as well, right?
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
don't use this type of the website.
Yes, sir. And my antivirus is showing that my system is perfectly clean and secure, and also the Chrome showing that there are no harmful activities or no harmful extension are right now in my system. So, is it mean that my system is secure?
Yes. How to find out that your system is secure or not? Just go to the task manager. Inside the task manager, find out how many applications and how many services are there which are not opened by you, and they are currently working in the background, right? So you will find out this type of the malicious code and malicious applications from the task manager code. Second thing, just go to the command prompt and find out how many processes are there working in the background, right? So using this method also you can find out the malicious activities inside your computer.
And sir, right now my task manager is showing that Google Chrome is running and there are 12 tabs are open. But right
Yes,
now there are
actually
only
not. Yes, it will not show you the tabs, but it will show you the services and the other ports which are open in the your browser, right? HTTP is there, HTTPS is there, FTP, TCP, and UDP is there. That's why it shows you 12 or more than 12.
okay, sir.
Okay, so I think lecture is over. If you have still any doubts, please we will discuss this in our next lecture. So please
Okay, sir.
left the
Thank
meet.
you.
Sorry. If I am sending some of the